All right. Here we are. We are against Reed Duke, but we are on the draw. Does this mean that we're playing against Storm again? It feels like it might be. No, they're playing Lutri. Nice. Good luck. All right. I think, though, when Reed Duke says good luck, he actually meant it. I feel like they're going to be a slower deck, so we can afford to play Mana Gorger and try to ride that. That'll be my plan. Okay. What is the combo element of it? If there is an existing deck, I don't know about it. That's why I was asking what's the combo element. Every combo amount. Well, fair enough. I guess when you're only allowed to play one of everything, and you already have a pretty sick restricted list. Fair enough. Fair enough. Settled for a merchant scroll. I guess we let them cast that merchant scroll. Ancestral is my first guess, right? Because Gush is effectively turned off for me, so I feel like I can use that. Ancestral it is. So they're holding Ancestral and two other cards. Okay, I do now that you say that, I do feel like I saw that. So they have Ancestral and three other cards. And I currently cannot. I guess I can cast Gush, Tinker, but it has Yogwill and Tendril. Okay. Excuse me. So the main reason I wanted to do is to get out ahead of, like, Time Walk really only was a ramp there, but I feel like it was potentially worth it to try to build up. So they have Treasure Cruise. Is this worth fighting over? I think so, because it fuels everything else. That's not bad. Beat down. Hi. So we know they're holding Treasure Cruise. Can't stop Arcanist. We can stop what Arcanist might try to do, though. That's a good one. Attack. So now Flooded Strand can put Time Walk on top with our Mystic Sanctuary. And then attack and a ping and they're dead. I would like to counter that, please. Resolves. So right now, I feel like I don't even have to crack the Flooded Strand. Like, if they can't stop me, I just kill them. Cut. So that makes me feel like Pyroblast is more important. Pyroblast will be able, well, they're not going to be able to have the multiple unless they sideboard into it, and by sideboarding into it, they don't. Sideboarding into it means they don't have. If they take Lutri out, then I'll know that they went for more Forces of Wills. But if they are combo centric, maybe I want Mindbreak Traps. And then so Lightning Bolt is something that's less impressive. I mean, Shattering Spree. What am I Shattering Spree-ing is a better question. I feel like it's. I want to get Managorger Hydra online because how do they stop Managorger Hydra? You know, maybe they could have Oko, but if and Oko just makes the Hydra bigger. They are going to have Arcanist type stuff, so maybe Arcanists are a reason to keep Lightning Bolts. Although they only have one Arcanist, unless you know. I will keep one Bolt. Because especially Bolt with my own Arcanist could do something. Merchant Scroll feels like the weakest link. Potentially Dak Faden, though. Because if it's not... If it's not all about a particular thing... I mean, Dak Faden is good. But the extra value for him, I feel like, comes from stealing. I'm going to leave the Merchant Scroll. See if that's right. Maybe the Nature's Claim could have come in. Alright, they will play first. So this is a turn 2 walker. They're keeping 7, and they still have Lutri, which means they don't have... Still having Lutri means like they are not on like the multiple forces plan or anything like that. So I feel like this is decent enough. I feel like this is the kind of matchup where you're going to complain about how many restricted cards your opponent drew. With the joke being, they're all restricted cards. I mean, they know I had it, but maybe you have to play into it. They could have Counterspell. They could have Mental Misstep. They have Daze. They picked up Volcanic Island. So no longer an artifact once you steal it. My thought is, okay, I play out Dreadhorde Arcanist here. If I play out Arcanist, they could trade. But then they trade. I have a 3/3 versus their Gitaxian Probe, and they are down an Oko. That's probably correct for me to do. Versus running an Oko or running something else like that out. Yeah, okay, I think I'm going to do that. I talked myself into it even though I was thinking it was wrong. Because one turn of the Arcanist makes sure Oko is down with a Pyroblast. Okay, now I just have a 3/3. How about this one? I guess that's the question. Do I trade or do I go after? I think I go after. So the land they bounce, they've already replayed it. Okay. Because my thought here is if they play a food, I steal the food. That's my thought anyway, is if they... Okay. They have Misty Rainforest. All right, so they had a Pyroblast go over their other thing. So now it's not even worth stealing. Can I find a Red Blast? Yes, but not yet. I could make them cash theirs in. They have no card, so is Renin 6 just better? I think it's that. Something happened, and I didn't get to see what it was. I did not have the thing scroll on me. So whatever happened, thank you. J Monkey, thanks for the follow. Okay, it's cashing in that. Well, I'm sure they have much more followers than me, Log, so I guess it is more important for me to find it, isn't it? They still also have not put Lutri into hand. I considered stealing their food, so that's going to just turn Dak Faden off. So that sucks. Did I bring in... No, I don't even have artifact removal. So artifact removal obviously would be a better decision here. This can at least put the Lutri in their hand. Yep. So Lutri is now in hand. That would have been bad when we had the double Misty in the opener. Yeah, I agree. That could have gone terribly wrong. Copy target instant or sorcery you control. It's also a flash 3/2. Worth noticing. The reason I'm doing that now is I'm not necessarily sure I'm going to have the availability to do it later. They're just going to get Lutri out there.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again.
Well, that's cool. So obviously, a lot of those Pyroblasts would have dug our way out of it. I think Ancient Grudge and or Shattering Spree, either one of them would have been worthwhile. So, like, let's take out the Merchant Scroll for that. And maybe the disadvantage of the Force of Will. Like, obviously we want Force of Will, but you can't have it all the time. So we'll play first. So if I play it, I know that they have all sorts of we've seen days and the different Pyroblasts and stuff, so that's where I was hoping to kind of get started. Nice Wrenn and 6 here, however. Yes, Lutri has been revealed. We could use a fetch land, but I'm wondering if I bother to use the fetch land. Potentially no. They do have different art fed. They had different Alpha Beta Volcanic before. Yeah, serves us right. Okay. So we have both resolved an Ancestral. So I have that for next turn. That would have been a reason to put, not thinking about I could have put Preordain in my hand as a card to pitch to the Force of Will. That I was not considering. Okay, so like as of right now, Wrenn and 6 doesn't even do anything, and that's what's kind of frustrating. But maybe it can start ticking up. I do feel now I should have kept that preordain. Because I would like to resolve the Wrenn and 6. I just have to be mindful, like I said before, days still exists. Up to 1. Okay. Pass turn. We know we are drawing Ancestral. That could potentially get us to a fetch land to make Wrenn and 6 start to get even better value. We have Oko that could turn the needle off, so that's why I think I'm willing to let that happen. Right? How bad do I fight that? How bad do I fight that? Could they have been sandbagging days here? I counter back, and then I get hit by days, and then I have I lose everything? Should I have cashed Oko in there? I feel like Time Walk is just an explore, so I'm willing to let that happen. If we trade food for needle, do you have the days? Seems like it. They could also just be a fluster. Veil of Summer. Okay, they don't draw the card, but they get the protection. And that stops them from at least playing Time Walk, but they can Red Elemental Blast down the Oko. I feel like even though they're playing their deck of singletons, we're still behind. And maybe we should have cashed in. Or did they had Veil of Summer protection. Hi, buddy. They had Veil of Summer protection before. I think really what hurt was not having having all general lands really was just really weak. I don't even remember why I brought that one in. Clear the Ren just to make sure. That's funny. This is my end step. Dig through time. Do you have the pyro? Cool. Cool. Nope. I mean, that's one thing is by playing a greater variety of cards, you are going to find things that fit certain situations. Like, okay, I have all these copies of Pyroblast. Well, that doesn't do me any good when, you know, something similar but different would be just as good. So that's the real question is how many times would it matter to have it versus not have the thing is all I'm saying. Yep. See? And then you're going to get to that point where as soon as they say, okay, put a card on the bottom. I'm trying very hard not to just like turn everything off and walk away. But Merchant Scroll, okay. I'm kind of intrigued what Merchant Scroll is going to get. Force, okay, now you have your protection for what you're going for. I'll bite. Force of Will, how lucky! Ooh. That was only okay. Correct. Merchant Scroll into the spell. Yeah. Well, maybe he didn't have it. Maybe it was a bluff. But I think you're correct that if had I hardcast it, now I haven't seen days out of them yet. So, but no, I do think you're right about how I could have set that up because of how they played their thing. Still had all these food. Yep. 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 I'm curious whether or not they have Mystic Sanctuary available to them. Because it says non-land, right? Non-land in your hand is a different card. Huh. Well. Greatest thief in the multiverse. You're killing me, Smalls. Like, the plan is, can we find a way to crack the Pithing Needle, and then we could shoot down the Snapcaster Mage? Like, that's a thing we're allowed to do. But we've been so buried under the Jace that, I mean, it really doesn't even matter anymore. I don't foresee a reasonable way, because any kind of good spell they now have 2 of it. And then they probably have the force protection for it as well. So they could go for like a Pyroblast, and they don't even need to copy it, but they could copy it. You know, it's going to be that kind of thing, or go for a big treasure cruise and copy it. So now the thing is, can I counter the original spell? I think we have to try to counter the original spell. Because that's the bigger issue, is that they would still draw the cards. Still pitching Mental Misstep because just in case. So now they'll just casually draw 6. It's pretty good. Draw 6 new ones after I've activated my Jace however many times. Yep. Huh? How you lose? I think I'm done. Well, that was a day. We won. We won the first round and lost the next 4. Cool.